Today on the Tom Kearin Channel. This will blow you away. Manifesting really is shockingly simple. This works. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the Tom Kearin Channel and studios of Be Something Wonderful, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, good morning and welcome back to the Tom Kearin Channel. One of you reached out to share how since you've been watching our channel that your life has changed in so many wonderful ways. But during this process, you shared some really powerful realizations in your process on how you manifest and create everything in your life. And it's shockingly simple. It's amazing, her realizations. This is where she starts. Dear Tom, I've been watching your channel for about a year and my life has changed in many wonderful ways. But here's where she shares a really powerful idea. She says, in truth, my life hasn't changed so much as how I view things have changed. And as a result, reality has shifted. Wow. Hear this. Right? Reality, all that is, existence, life, right? All that you are is changeless. That doesn't change. What changes? What shifts? What manifests? Your perspective, your viewpoint, your perception, your assumptions about yourself and your reality, what you believe to be the truth about yourself and your reality. That's what changes, and that changes everything. That's why shifting and manifesting is so shockingly simple. That's what it really means. She shared this here. I love this. I'm going to read this again because we're going to get into her email because she provides her process on how she does it. In truth, my life hasn't so much changed as how I view things have changed. And as a result, reality has shifted. Yeah, because remember, ultimate reality, existence, life, remember the ancients said, I am the life, I am the way. That doesn't change. All that is all that is. All that you are is all that you are. You are all possible experiences, conditions, circumstances, possibilities, sensations, thoughts, and feelings, and all of that. So what changes it? Your viewpoint of it, your perspective. In other words, your experiencing of reality is reality. Because reality doesn't change. Life is life. All that is all that is. So she says, we recently had a session where I talked about a job teaching. She's a teacher. But she wanted a specific job. I'm not going to reveal where that is or what that's all about because that's sort of a personal thing. But it was in a specific situation that she felt like it would be for less money. But it was her passion where she wanted to teach and under those circumstances. And what she decided was, no, I can follow that. Just like Bashar says, following your passion, following what you love. And I can have that money. Right? So she says, I talked about that teaching job and more money. Here's what she says. I've not only received the job that I want, because she was even wondering whether she would get that job. A lot of competition for it, all of that. But we know there is none. You create your reality. What others create, it has nothing to do with you, means nothing. You are the only one. It's your world, your reality. You're the only candidate in your reality. So I received the job I want, but at the salary that I wanted that is significantly higher than what I currently earn. Higher than what I currently earn in a teaching position that didn't seem like it would be. And she even admits, I didn't think that was possible at first. Additionally, I stand to earn more and more money working at this job, and that I know will be meaningful and fulfilling, and it must because I say so. I say it will be. Wow. Right? Really stepping into her power as source. Right? And here's what she says. She goes on. I've experienced better health, more money, more freedom, and more love. All because I've realized that I've always had those things. Wow. In other words, you are all that is. You are complete, whole, and fulfilled. That never changes. Existence, creation, all that is, life doesn't change. Your perspective or viewpoint of that reality, of that life that you are, changes, and that changes everything. So she says, all because I've realized that I've always had those things. My I am consciousness is in the center of all that is and commands my 3D experience. I can experience the kingdom of heaven in every moment. Wow. Do you see all of those conditions and circumstances, all possibilities already exist as all that is? So it's not about getting rid of or altering or influencing or doing anything with them. It's deciding what's your viewpoint, what's your perspective as all that is. And she even shares this: I've felt fear, worry, doubt, anger, all of the negative emotions. But do you see? They mean nothing. It's your perspective and viewpoint of yourself as reality. That's all that matters. And here she shares her process. My process has been to take a deep breath and focus on being the best version of myself I can be. Because that creates all of it. Do you see the changing conditions and circumstances and the doubt and the worry and the anger? None of that means anything. Your source, you determine what it all means. You're the one that gives meaning to all of it. Life is life. Reality is reality. All that is all that is. That doesn't change. What changes your viewpoint of it, your perception of yourself as that one reality. And she says, this instantly makes me feel a deep connection to source energy. Remember, that feeling is not about a changing emotion. That's the conviction as source. That's that conviction that I am source energy. I am all that is. And she goes on and says, I know that everything is going to be perfect, even if I'm scared, etc. Yeah, it's a knowing. The fear, the doubt, all of that, just leave that to be there. It does nothing. It means nothing. And she says, I've had a long time spiritual practice, but this is the deepest experience. So she's been practicing the idea of spirituality for a long time. But she says the deepest experience of God that I've had so far is this. This, what she's explaining. And here's her words, very powerful. It completely blows me away. This is her words. How it just keeps on working. Wow. In other words, as she decides to leave all of those conditions and circumstances and fear, all of those things there. Because remember, you're all that is. Your reality, so they're just there. That's all that you are. And it just keeps on working. In other words, she keeps creating the life of her dreams. She thanked us for our videos and our commitment to this. So very powerful. That was her email. Very powerful. Her process is to be still and know. The ancients shared that. She's not doing anything with the changing conditions and circumstances. She's allowing it all to be there. She's not running away from it. She's not trying to ignore the physical thoughts and feelings, which are the idea of those sensations in your body or the thoughts in your head or the appearances out there. She's not trying to ignore any of that or run away from it or do anything with it. Just allow it to be. It's part of all that is. It's part of all that she is. Remember, when we talk about the idea of not putting a lot of importance on something or not caring, it's really not about not caring. Everything is important and not important. It means everything exists is all that is. Nothing's more important than anything else. It's not that it's not important. It's just that there's only one. So it's not about not caring. It's about not clutching, not clinging to things because you're, as the seeker, as a seeker, we're clinging and clutching and trying to get things and trying to hold on to them. As source, you know They're already within you. That's what we mean by that. It's an indifference that comes from love, not from lack. Wow. So remember, letting go is not about giving up in resignation, giving up on your dreams and desires, but rather it's about giving upward in the realization that you are source. It's not about letting go in the idea that I'm going to give up in resignation because I'm the seeker that's not getting what I want. So it's not about giving up in resignation, but giving upward to the source that you are in the realization that you're the creator and center of all that is, just like she said. I am the center of all that is. Right? It's not about controlling anything. It's not about control, but conviction. It's a knowing that comes from conviction, not control. Right? And this idea about when they talk about letting go is not about not taking action and not doing anything. It's not about that. It's about stop taking action as the seeker and start taking action as source. Right? As other spiritual teachers have said, that remember, there's nothing to do, but there's always action to take as the source. Doing's about seeking, trying to make something happen. Taking action as source is being the source that you are. Like, allowing yourself to lead from inside out. Wow. Very powerful message today, right, in her process. And we had just spoken about that job, about her fears and all of that. And she just stepped right into it. That remember, it's not so much that life, existence, reality, all that is changes. It doesn't change. It's changeless. It's absolute changeless fulfillment and utter worthiness and love. The change, the experiencing is you as reality. Your perspective, your viewpoint, your perception of who you are changes everything. That's what shifts. Remember, in every moment you're shifting and changing and moving, right, within that all that isness. So why not take the perspective with all the doubt and the fear and all of that being there, choosing anyway to be all that you desire to be? Wow, that's what we're talking about. That's powerful. That's what, it blows her away that it just keeps working. That's a powerful statement, of course, because you're a source. You're it. When you decide, that's it. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the Tom Kearin Channel and studios of Be Something Wonderful, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, thank you. Thank you for being with us. Be sure to check out the Be Something Wonderful channel. We just released a huge video on that channel, and it looks like you guys are liking it. So go take a look. And we're also going to have our next live stream scheduled for September. And next week, coming up, we're going to be in Bonaire, the Dutch Caribbean. We're going to be back there. That's my Barbados. Join me there for more powerful content. But over the next few days, we still got a lot more coming. Creators with great love, with great light and infinite gratitude. This is Tom Kearin here on the Tom Kearin Channel in the studios of Be Something Wonderful. Until next time, we'll see you soon.